Hi, Algebra 1 class. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today's lesson is on point-slope form. It'll be 3 boxes to follow an extension. And the standard that we're working with today is to construct a linear function. So our objective is to write and graph linear equations using point-slope form. In box 1, our question is, what is point-slope form? So I wrote the equation of point-slope form right here, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we already see our m right here. Our m again is our slope, and our slope, as we know it from the previous lesson, is rise over run. That's how much we go up or down, or right and left. And it's also, we can use our equation that we know, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we see 2 sets of y's and 2 sets of x's. The ones that they put the 1 on, so y1 and x1, are where we're going to be inputting our point that we're given. Because point-slope form, all we need is a point and a slope. So in this case, our point that we're given will be an x and a y coordinate. And we can always label it as x1, y1. So that's all the information that we need to construct our point-slope form. Again, is the slope and a point. So moving on to box 2, we actually have an example to work with. The example is to write an equation in point-slope form of the line that passes through point 3, negative 4, with the given slope of 6. And it wants us to graph the line. So again, we want to identify the slope, and also we want to identify the point. So our slope is given 6, so we can put our 6 right there. And the point that they give us is 3, negative 4. And we can still label that as x1, y1. So these two information, the 2 things that they give us for information, we can now plug in to our equation. So we can leave y minus y1, which is negative 4. And since there is a negative right here, we're going to have to multiply that to the other negative, because a negative times a negative will make us give it a positive. And then we can input our slope 6, and that'll be multiplied by x minus our x1, which is 3. And that's all we have to do to construct our point-slope form. And we're given enough information to also graph the line. To graph the line, we can start with our point, which is 3, negative 4. Let me make this a little bit larger for you, or a little bit smaller for us, so we can look at both information at the same time. So we're going to go to the right 3, because again, that's our x, and down 4, because it's negative 4, and we'll have a point right here. And then it also gives us our slope, which is 6. So from our slope, we can then move up and down, and right and left. So again, our slope is 6. And there's always an invisible 1 under the 6 that tells us to run right. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 to the right. And we do that again to create a third point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to the right 1. Now we can draw our line. And our line can connect all these 3 points. There we go. And there's our line in green. Again, our example asks us to write an equation in point-slope form, which we did. And our equation is y plus 4 equals 6, x times x minus 3. And we were able to graph the line because we were given the point which we started at, and we were able to graph it using the slope, which is 6. Moving on to box 3, we have a u-try. So write an equation in point-slope form of the line that passes through point 4, 0, and with the given slope of negative 1. I'll give you a moment to try this one out. So let's go ahead and construct our point-slope form. Again, it'll be y minus y1 equaling our slope m times x minus x1. And let's identify our point and our slope. So our point will be 4, 0, 4, and 0. And I always like to say x1, y1, so I know what numbers I'm using and plugging in. And then our slope, m, is equal to -1. So we can plug in both the x and y as well as our slope into the equation. So we have y minus our y1, which is 0, equal to our slope, -1, times x minus our x1, which is 4. And that's all the information that we need to create our point slope form. Using that information, we can now graph our line. So again, we want to plot the point they gave us, 4, 0. So I'm going to go to the right 4, and I don't have to go up or down anywhere because again, our y coordinate is 0. And our slope tells us that it's -1. So if our slope is -1, we always know that it's over 1. So we know, again, rise over run. We know we're going to rise -1. In this case, we're going to go down 1 and to the right 1. So again, down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. So we have 3 points that we've constructed. And now we can create our line. So I know it's going to go right across right here. It's going to keep on going. So I think we figured this one out on the U-try. So we were able to construct our point slope form, which is y minus 0 equals -1 times x minus 4. And from that information, we were able to create our line and graph that line. Moving on to box 4, we have our extension, which is to find point slope form of the line that passes through point 1, 4 and -1, 1. This one's a little different. It doesn't give us the slope this time, but is there enough information to find the equation of the line? We'll talk about this problem when we come back to class tomorrow. Thank you very much, class. You guys have a beautiful day.